Hey, Jaden here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to actually get started. So if you're at a place where you have already learned some skills, watched some videos, and you're wondering where to start, how to begin everything, I hope this video will be able to help you out. So I'm just going to go straight into it. Let's not waste time. Firstly, friends and family. This is the easiest and the quickest way for you to really get hands-on. And essentially, what you do is actually very simple. You just reach out to your friends and family and see whether if they have something that you can work on. So, for example, when I first started into online marketing, I worked on a website for a friend who was going through some difficulties. He had already had two person that he worked with that wasn't giving him the results that he wanted. And this was for a web design project, doing web design for his website. And I didn't have a clue on how to create a website. I've never done web design before, but he needed help. And I asked him if he needed, can I work on his project? And he said yes, right? So within your friends and family, within that zone, I'm pretty sure that, whatever that you're offering, they would likely need it, assuming that you have a decent size pool of friends and family. But this is where I would recommend you to get started first, because it's easiest, meaning to say there's lesser friction when you're approaching friends and family, especially when you're first getting started. So yeah, friends and family first. And then next one will be Facebook groups. So Facebook groups are really good, especially for beginners when they are first starting up, because you have a pool of people that you can pitch to. And what you want to do is to make sure that you are joining the correct groups. So what do I mean? Let's say the offer that you're offering is web design. You want to look at groups that is relevant to web design or supporting pillars that is around web design. So let's say, for example, if I have decided to go into decided to offer web design as a skill, what I want to do is I want to think about where my potential customers could be at. And so if you think of web design, there are different platforms, for example. So like WordPress, Webflow, Wix, Squarespace, all these different you can join Facebook groups like this, because people in those groups, they are, heavily around web design based off of the platform, right? So they will have a lot of questions there. You'll probably be able to find some gigs there as well, some projects there as well. So look for Facebook groups that is relevant to what you're offering. Now, what is a pillar group? So a pillar group, it's essentially a group that is really relevant to the initial group. So for example, if let's say I joined a web design group, let's say, for example, it's a WordPress web design group, right? Then you want to think about, okay, so other than web design, what else is there when it comes to web design, right? Because other than designing a website, people need to run traffic to it. And there are different kinds of traffic. There's paid traffic, there is SEO, there is social media and things like that, right? So you can essentially go in and join let's say, SEO group, for example, right? Or you can join a paid ads traffic group, right? So all these are relevant groups or pillar groups that you can think about. And yeah, there's different ways of pillars that you can think about. Even if, let's say, WordPress alone, works with plugins, so different web builders. So that will give you like a full idea of what is there, what groups are there to join, right? But that's how you essentially get started with Facebook groups. So when you're on Facebook groups, you want to create an offer there, which later on I'll show you how to do it, especially with AI nowadays. When I first started, there wasn't AI. So Facebook groups. And I'm kind of going in the order of how I got started. Yeah. So next one will be Instagram. It's pretty straightforward. If there's somebody or a brand that you want to work with, you can essentially, go to their Instagram and basically DM them. So myself personally, I didn't use this method, but essentially it's the same when it comes to reaching out personally, similar to how you will reach out to your friends and family. It's kind of the same thing. But yeah, that's one other channel that you can think about. The next one will be LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is any kind of one-to-one outreach. They work in a similar way, just that the platform is different. So for LinkedIn, you can find people like again, it's the same. You can find people that you would want to work with, or brands that you want to work with. So for example, you can reach out to a founder, you can reach out to a CEO. Yeah, you can reach out to anyone that you want to work with and, offer your skills over there. And later on, I'll share what kind of offers that you should be kind of like creating. And then the next one will be on platforms such as Upwork. So I started in the beginning of my career, and it is a relatively good platform. One caveat is you kind of have to pay for the credits. So there's a slight investment there. Whereas the rest of the channels that I've mentioned, with your friends and family, with Facebook groups and things like that, you don't actually need to pay to get started. On Upwork, they do offer some kind of free credits, but to really do well on Upwork, you have to purchase the credits, because then you have more chances of, applying for a proposal. So that's the different channels that you can look at. That's what worked for me. And yeah, that's how you can essentially get started. And then in terms of like the offers, what should you be offering? Now, when you're starting out, I think doing your work for free is what worked for me, at least. But you don't want to do it for free, meaning you say it's entirely for free. You want to have some kind of value in return when you're providing value, right? So when I first started out, I offered my SEO services for free, right? So I went to Facebook groups. I went to different groups that I'm in. Back then, I was in Bali. So I joined a Facebook group that it's for Bali businesses. And I basically posted in there with the offer of, hey, I will look at your website and see what optimization or opportunities there is. And in return, if they like the audit that I provided, then they would leave me a review, right? That was the offer. So you don't really want to do offers for free. You want to state it in your offer that you're doing this for free, but if they like the offer, you want to collect some kind of reviews. And you want to do this because that review that you have gotten will essentially help you to get more clients and more projects in the future. So the more reviews you collect, the better your authority will be, the better trust you will have. And yeah, that's how you actually get started. And yeah, so for those people who reach out to you and take on your offer, they will already know, they are going to leave a review if they are happy with the audit. And from your end, you will have to do a good job, because if it's not good, then they wouldn't provide the review. My advice to you is, when you are doing this kind of audit, try to, as much as you can, try to, be in contact with them, especially if it's online. You want to hop on a quick Zoom call to basically present whatever that you have offered. Let's say, for example, the audit that I was doing, I was hopping on Zoom calls to basically run through the audit that I've provided, right? Whether if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to see whether the audit benefiting the person, right? And usually from a call, you can tell. However, if it's on text, then that might be more difficult for you to gauge whether this person find the audit helpful or not. And one thing to take note, if the person didn't find the audit helpful, or whatever that you have presented, they didn't find it helpful, you also want to get a feedback on why they didn't find it helpful, right? Because what you're doing is essentially you're building your offer for when you're starting, or when you're really offering like your main services, right? You're capturing all this feedback with what your customers or your potential customers don't want, and you can exclude them in the future, right? So in reality, when you are doing something for free, you're actually gaining a lot back in return. You're getting customer feedback, you're getting reviews, and you are also gaining traction into what customers would want in the future, right? So That's the first offer that I recommend you go with. This is the first offer that I went with. The next one will be discounted rate. So it's pretty straightforward. Let's say when I first started, when I took on the web design project, it was to build out a 300 SKU website. So the website has over 300 plus products, and it was an e-commerce site, and I had to build it out even though I have no experience in doing so. And usually, based off of my experience now, project like that will be, upwards of like 3,000 to even $10,000. That was what he was quoted, and I did it for $500. So I did it for $500 to basically create the entire website for him, to create the entire e-commerce website for him. Now, this way, what you're doing is, again, you are kind of getting your foot in the door, and most importantly is you get to practice. You get to apply whatever that you have learned or that you are learning, and you are still getting paid for it, even though it's not the full amount, but you're still getting some kind of money back for it, right? But this allows you to, both methods allows you to practice whatever that you have learned. And this is the most important thing, is to really take on projects and apply whatever that you have learned. It doesn't matter all the theories, all the videos that you have watched. If you have watched this video, it doesn't matter, because unless you have applied whatever that you have learned, it's not going to move you. You're not going to progress, right? So yeah, offer it at a discounted rate. So like I mentioned earlier, the web design that I did for my friend, I quoted him $500, and of course he immediately said yes. And yeah, so that's kind of like the two ways that I went about. And do keep in mind that when you're first starting out, it's, if you can get paid full price, that'll be good, but highly unlikely, right? Because if you're quoting a person, let's say for a web design, let's say the average price is 2,000 to 2,000 upwards. If the person, or if the potential customer say yes, then that'll be great. Most of the time, they'll be asking for like your previous case studies, your reviews, any projects that you've worked with that's similar to them. And you're not going to have those, right? Especially if you're just starting out. So the reason why you can do a FOC with review, the reason why you can do a discounted rate is because you can let them know that this is something new that you're offering. And because of that, that's why you're giving a discounted rate. That's why you're doing free of charge. Yeah. So that's how that's the kind of offers that you can provide when you're first starting out. Now, when I started, there wasn't ChatGPT, right? This was probably in 2019. So there wasn't ChatGPT, but there is now. So I'm going to attempt to use ChatGPT to basically, come up with the copy, and hopefully this will be able to help you out. But, especially now with AI, it's so much easier, right? So I have not used ChatGPT to do this before, so I am going to try. Yeah. So yeah, let's say you're reaching out to, somebody on LinkedIn, right? How I would do this, it's basically, I want to try to make it as relevant as much as possible, and make it in such a way that it doesn't seem like it's robot generated or AI generated. So let's say, I need help to pitch a offer to potential customer on LinkedIn. This is his profile. And then let's say, for example, you go onto LinkedIn and then you see somebody that is, like a CEO, right? So job, CEO, company, let's say ABC Private Limited. They sell, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the first ever web design project that I did. So just gonna call it Tires Private Limited, and then name, let's call him Cliff, right? So business description, they are a e-commerce brand selling car tires online. Okay, so this is his profile, this is his business description, right? And why I want to include this in here is because I want it to be as relevant as much as possible to the person that I'm pitching to. The next one will be the offer. So this is the offer. And then let's say I want to do a free of charge. or discounted rate, for example. I want to offer a discounted rate. I want to offer web design at a discounted rate. Yeah, actually, let me do the free of charge with reviews. And the reason why is because even when you're reaching out for a discounted rate, generally that's not how I would do it, especially when when you're first reaching out to somebody. Usually when you reach out to somebody, especially if it's cold, something like this, a free of charge with review works really well. But if you're offering something with a discounted rate, because they'll still end up paying, right? So the responses, this is not the ideal way of how I reach out. If you offer a free of charge with review, and they do get back with you and they like the review and they ask you for a price, then offering a discounted rate will be good. So as a first initial approach, I would use the free of charge with offer first. And I'm not saying that you cannot use the discounted rate. It's just that on a platform like LinkedIn, especially if you're reaching out to somebody cold, very, very cold, they don't even know you, there's a lot more friction there. But if you're reaching out to, let's say, for example, your friends and family at a discounted rate, usually they will reply you whether they're interested or not. But on platforms like LinkedIn and things like that, on Instagram, for example, where they have no idea, no clue who you are, chances are they wouldn't even respond to you because they get that a lot, but not your friends and family, right? So yeah, because this is on LinkedIn, I am going to change the offer to the with review. I want to offer a web design, let's say, audit for this person. I am doing this entirely for free in exchange for a review. They only to provide a review if they liked the audit. Okay, so this is the offer, right? And then what do I want to do? Help me create. Okay, so let's help create a pitch that I can send to them. And here's what I want to do as well. Some requirements. Make the copy beneficial for them. Okay, make the copy simple and easy to understand. Keep it short. All right, help me create a pitch that I can send to them on LinkedIn. Okay, and then we're gonna see what's the result like. Okay, and you may be using ChatGPT. I mean, if you are already using ChatGPT, there's a certain way of how you use it. Usually, how I use it is the good thing with ChatGPT is it gives you a lot of output, and from this output, you don't have to select everything. But I like to look at snippets of what I like. Yeah, I tend to look at snippets of what I would use, and then spin off all from that. So hi Cliff, I hope this message finds you well. Immediately when I looked at this, right, it's a little bit too long. I don't want it to be very long. I want it to be very short. So I hope this message finds you. I noticed impressive one I wanted to reach out. And sharing your website, that's what I'm offering. Here's what the audit entails. Comprehensive evaluation, no cost, no. Okay, so I like this. No cost, no strings attached. Personal recommendations, comprehensive evaluation, right? So immediately like this section here, I hope this message finds you well. This is redundant. And has a little bit to do with copywriting. But yeah, that could be for another video. But yeah, this message is redundant. This entire message is redundant here. All we ask, okay, I'm going to change it to I, because you're at this stage, you're not a company yet. So all I ask is written for your honest feedback, your review. If you find value in our, we greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I like this entire part here. It's just the start. So what I want to do is I want to try to. The intro is too lengthy. Could you go straight to the point and make the entire copy shorter? Okay, let's see what ChatGPT does for us. Okay, now this is a little bit too short. But yeah, I noticed I wanted to offer you. Yeah, so this is what I would. So hi Clay. So I don't want to put I notice. I notice. Impressive. This is so the reason why I don't like this is because it's a little bit too commercial. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Can make the copy more human and include bit of humor. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT gives us. Oh, okay. So this is all right. Yeah. Hey Cliff, your online journey. Okay, so let's say for example, hey Cliff, your website looks sleek. But hey, even the fastest car need a tune-up, right? Yeah, so this will probably capture the attention more. I'm offering you a free complimentary website to ensure your digital wheels keep spinning. All right, here's a little bit. Okay, this part here, it's a little bit too over. Okay, so I'm offering you a complimentary web design audit to ensure your digital wheels, like this part here, I think it's too overkill. And it's not, I want it to be direct. I want the offer, when you're crafting your offer, you want it to be clear and like people don't have to guess what is it about. I wanted to offer you. And then yeah, you kind of like put together the pieces here. Okay, I wanted to offer you a complimentary. Here's what you will get. Yeah, I like this. Here's what you will get. Here's what you will get. Yeah, this section here, it's a little bit. I mean, you can include it in here because it's very relevant to their e-commerce site, right? Pit stop for your site. But I'm not sure if they will be confused. So yeah, I like this. This is what you will get. Comprehensive audit, no cost, free of charge, right? And all I ask is a return. Yep. All I ask in return is for your honest feedback, your review, if you find this helpful. Okay, and then let's see. I don't want to put this. Let's schedule your audit and enhance your online presence. Ouch, I also don't really like this because I'd rather be more straight to the point. When would you, assuming that let's say you are going to, do something that is online, like getting on a call, right? So you probably want to schedule something online, like a call. Let's schedule your audit. Enhance. Yeah, I like this, but I don't want it to be a statement. I want to be a question, right? Because then it's kind of open-ended. So use like the person will more likely be replying because they need to like kind of like close the loop. If that makes sense. So let's schedule your audit and let's schedule your audit. When would you like to schedule your audit? Okay, you can use like when would you like to schedule your audit, or you can put like sounds fair, or you can have like different variations, right? But I like to always end the copy with a question. When would you like to schedule your audit? Sounds fair. Is this the only website you want me to look at? All right. So the reason why I think this will work well is because like you're already assuming that you're gonna do this audit for this current website, but is there anything else that you want to include, right? Because then this is already assuming that they are okay with you doing the first audit. You can play around with this, I just want to do this stuff. But hey, even the fastest cars, tune up, right? I wanted to offer you a complimentary website audit. Here's what you'll get. I'll review your site, pinpointing areas for improvement, tailored suggestion to optimize design and functionality, no cost, no obligation. My goal is to provide actionable insights free of charge. All I ask in return is for your honest feedback on the audit. Your review, if you find value in my recommendations, will be greatly appreciated and will help me continue to refine my services. And then best, jaded, right? So very straight to the point, and obviously if you spend more time working on this, you probably can get it down to like even cleaner, right? Like even shorter. But we went from this too lengthy one to too short, and then now it's just a very, very clear cut with an offer inside. And then you basically just send this to whoever that you're reaching out to, right? And then now let's say, for example, let's say you're reaching out to multiple people. You want to make this a template. You always want to, do once. And then if something works, you want to templatize it, because the next time, assuming you're not only reaching out to one person on LinkedIn, you're reaching out to multiple people, maybe on different days, maybe in a day, you're reaching out to 5 to 10 people, and you want to reuse the same format again. So this is the format that I am using. Please edit the format, the copy to suit copy with the business description I provide. Okay, now let's do this. Okay, this is the format. Okay, now please edit the copy with the business description I provide. So let's say, for example, now you're reaching out to somebody else, right? And then this is the profile. Okay, right? So let's say, for example, the person now you're reaching out to is a marketing manager. The company is, let's say, I don't know, keyboards, right? They're selling keyboards. The name is Clifford. Business description, e-commerce brand selling keyboards online. Okay. And then, yeah. Okay. Yeah, then you can see like your website is looking sharp, but even the slickest keyboards need a little fine tuning. Now, this is copying the above section a little bit, but you can change this up very easily with some prompts. But this is how you will actually do it for different brands. So let's say a different person that you're reaching out to, let's say you can just copy this and then edit the profile, right? And they'll use the same kind of format. And yeah, you can personalize this to different people that you're sending out to. So yeah, hopefully this helps. Again, if you are pitching out to Facebook groups, you can also use this as a craft to craft your copy. So I need help to pitch a offer to a Facebook group. And then you can put in the Facebook group, you can put in the offer. And again, when you're putting the offer and the messaging, you want to make sure that it's not too high based, because people can tell. Try to make it as clear as much as possible what they are getting, and also what is the offer, right? Make it as clear as much as possible and make it easy to digest. You don't want to create like a big long chunk of text because nobody will read this, right? Yeah, and make sure that it's relevant, okay? So that's all for today's video. Let me know if this is helpful and if there's anything else that I missed out. Yeah, that's all.